All right, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
We are here now. I'm having this is the second class of the day.
Yes.
Don't worry about the first class, because some classes you just have to be here for because, you know, it's the deep stuff, you know.
Yes, yes.
Oh, I want to know what's deep. I tell you what's deep. You doing something. That's deep. You ain't done nothing yet. We just reading the rules. And I'm explaining you, giving you some basic understanding. It gets deep when you start actually doing stuff.
Yes.
I want to welcome a couple of other congregations. You know, we got some people coming from Illinois, and there's some people coming out of North Carolina. And give a big shout out to, my peoples down in Texas. We love y'all. See y'all soon. All right. Chapter 9. And Yah spake with Moshe in the wilderness of Sinai in the second year from the time of their going forth from the land of Mitzrayim in the first month, saying. So what time is it?
This isn't in the fall.
This is in the fall.
Nissan.
So we still at the same time. It's just the second year, the first month. It's only 1 year after the Exodus. But the Most High counts the first year that they moved. So from when they left on the 15th of Nisan, he says this is their first year. When you complete the year, this is the beginning of the second year. You see?
Yes.
It's not like how we count today. Today, the first year, everybody, it's been 1 month. No, you in your first year. You in your first year. How old's your baby? 1 month? No, this baby is in his first year. He was already conceived 10 months ago.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
So we count in years.
You count the first year you're in as year 1. It's not 0. The first year you're in, and you're getting the law. This is your first year in. You're in your first year. Okay? So now when you complete that year, you've completed 1 year, but you're at the beginning of your second year. You're in your second year. Okay? So now you're starting to see how he says in the first month, right? In the second year. So it's the first month in the second year of their going forth. So this is after 1 year in the first month. Let the children of Israel perform the sacrifice of the Pascha between the sun at its time. On the 14th day of this month, between the suns, they shall perform it in its time according to all its rites and all its statutes shall they do it. So now the Most High is telling them on the 14th day, after 3 o'clock, we make all the preparations for the Pascha. What's that? That's between the suns. We start getting down to the cool of the evening, which is around 5 p.m., 6 p.m. And then at sunset, we actually light the fire and cook the food. Okay? What time is this? What season? This is in the beginning of the fall. It says in Nisan, the first month, the month of Abib. This is not springtime. It's called Abib because the Abib spring is not to do with it's to do with the ripe fruit. All the harvest season and you leaping forth like the sheep. When you let sheep out the pen, They jump for joy on the grass and frolic and play. It's the leaping.
Wow.
Okay? They jump and play. So this is that Abib. But it's Nisan, which is the first month of the fall. And Moshe spake with the children of Israel to perform the sacrifice of the Pascha, the Pesach, the Passover. They performed the Pascha, therefore, on the 14th day of the month between the suns in the wilderness of Sinai. After all that Yah had commanded Moshe, so did the children of Israel. But certain men, so we're getting ready to come into a lesson. But certain men who were unclean, having been defiled by the body of a dead man who had died near them, suddenly, as the commandment of the Pascha came upon them, could not perform it on that day, which was the 7th of their uncleanness. And they came before Moses on that day, and these men said to him, we are unclean on account of a man who died with us. Therefore, we are hindered from killing the Pascha and shedding the blood of Yah's oblation upon the altar at its time, that we may eat of its flesh, being clean among the children of Israel. Now, this is important. These men accepted, after 1 year of being out, 1 year, they accepted the law of cleanness and uncleanness and the time of separation, and they accepted that they were unclean, and now it's the Passover, and they're like, we're not trying to violate no laws. I'm not trying to just do the Passover knowing that I'm unclean, and we're not supposed to do that, and the Most High kill us by the flaming fire.
Right.
And there has to be something for me here, because I'm not trying to not do the Passover and be killed for not doing the Passover either.
Right.
So if I do it, I might die. And if I don't do it, I might die. And I'm not trying to die on none of these accounts. This is not fair. This is not just.
So when it says which was the 7th of their uncleanness, is that
It's the 7th day. So the man passed most likely on the 7th day, and then they had to be unclean for those 7 days. So now it's coming out where they would have been clean, and it would have been the 15th.
Right.
Which is the day of unleavened bread, but they can't do the Passover on the 7th day, so they needed the extra day. Okay? This is one of 4 matters of judgment brought before Musa, Rasulullah, the prophet of Allah, right? Moses, the prophet, which he decided according to the word of the Holy One, in some of which Moses was deliberate, because there were judgments about life. But in others, Moses was prompt, they being only judgments concerning money. This is the second time we've read this. So Moses used to deliberate, meaning he would come, they'd look over the rules, and they would take counsel and study and see where the law lie. Moses knows he still has final judgment, but he's also teaching judgment. To who? To the young men who was with him, the young men listening, that they may learn the covenantal traditions of the judgments. So they're deliberating. But in matters of money, this was prompt. Why? The person have anywhere from 7 to 50 years to pay it back. This just money.
So really, you just giving an order at that moment.
Right, like This man owe me this. Yeah, I owe him, but I can't pay him. Okay, what can you pay him? Well, right now I have 5 shekels. Next month, maybe 10. Okay, pay him as you can over the next 7 years. Just complete this debt. Bye.
Done.
Okay? Oh, I don't have this. We don't have this. I need for this. Okay, give this man this money, and when he get it, you will pay it back as you can. We don't make this big problem. This money.
Right.
We make money. Give him from your sheep something. Give him a young sheep. This will be acceptable payment for the matter by. But in those, the former, Moses said, I have not heard. So in the matters of life and death, I've not heard. I have not validated my answer from the Most High. Okay? Moses said, I have not heard, that he might teach the princes of the Sanhedrin who would arise after him to be deliberate in judgments regarding life, to deliberate, to counsel, to seek judgment in any matter concerning life and death. If I got to go to war, before I go, I have to go and deliberate. I have to hear a concise instruction first. It's not an automatic response.
And that's what happened with Josiah. He
It's
wound
just,
up dying.
it's not an automatic response. It's everything must be calculated. Slow down because, you have to be 100% in the right. But prompt judgments about money and not to be ashamed to ask counsel in things too hard for them, inasmuch as Moshe himself, the Rabbi of Israel, had need to say, I have not yet heard. Therefore, said Moshe to them, wait until I have heard what will be commanded from before Yah concerning your case. So he's taken up counsel in the face of Yah. He's going to consult first the books. Then he's going to look for some tradition. Then he's going to hold up what he finds before the Most High and see what is the judgment here. Take your time. And Yah spake with Moshe, saying, so now the Most High speaks from the Ark of the Covenant, which is now consecrated.
Right.
He's talking from the mercy seat, which is on top of the ark.
Right.
Speak with the sons of Israel, saying, a man, whether young or old, when unclean by defilement from the dead, or an issue, or the leprosy, or who is hindered in the way of the world by the accidents of the night, or who shall be at a distance from the threshold of his house. So let's take a look at all of these cases which prohibit you from doing the Pascha. Okay? So it doesn't matter if you're a man, whether young or old. If you're unclean by defilement of the dead, so if somebody died, okay, the week of the Pesach, which can happen, well, you're going to be unclean. You're not going to make it. Okay? You had to go to a funeral. That's it. Whoop, whoop. You had to go to the cemetery. Whoop, whoop.
Can't do it.
Okay? If you have an issue, so you have an infection, okay? Or the leprosy, okay? So if you have, an STD or I don't know, you got an issue. You know what I'm saying? You got an issue. You know what I'm saying? Fluids is leaking out. You got a problem. Okay? Or who is hindered in the way of the world by the by the accidents of the night. You had a wet dream.
Ooh.
So you know now, like before we gather for the Pesach, there is a time of restraint from sexual activity.
Wow.
All feast days have a restraint. You have to appear before the Most High clean. So you can't touch your wife during this time. You can't have sex at this time. Okay? Or who shall be at a distance from the threshold of his house? If you are far away. So we are now regathering back here to Jordan. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So again, if you are far from your house, you can't perform the Pesach. You have to perform the Pesach at home.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be in the camp.
Mm-hmm.
If such things happen to you or to your generations, so now if it happens to you or this happens to our generation, so right now we're scattered all over the place. We're trying to regather. There is a deferment now. Okay? There is a deferment now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And after I read this next line and these next few lines, I'll give you my story.
I was
Don't you
just
worry.
thinking
Don't you worry
about
about
it.
it. Don't you worry
I
about it.
was just thinking about it.
Then he may defer to perform the Pesach before Yah. But in the second month, which is the month of Iyar, on the 14th day of the month, between the suns, they shall perform it with unleavened bread and bitters, with bitters, which is like hyssop. They shall eat it. It's the bitter herbs. We have it's a bunch of them. They shall eat it. They shall not leave of it till the morning, and a bone in it shall not be broken, according to every instruction in the decree of the Pascha in Nisan, the fall. They shall perform it in the Pascha of Nisan. Such persons may eat unleavened bread, but not perform the oblation of the Pascha on account of their defilements. But in the Pascha of Iyar, being purified, they shall offer it. So again, these are the conditions. These are the conditions, right? Now, if you're far away, you can't perform it. You have to do it in the second month once you're back with the congregation, right? So let me give you my testimony so that you guys can have an understanding of how this works. So I know it's in the fall, right? And before I returned back home, before I returned back to the land, after being in the States for a year, I was returning back in the time of the Pesach to have the festival. But I was delayed having, other personal issues. I just couldn't travel at that time to be here. So I ended up traveling like a month later.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I couldn't be here in the actual month of Nisan. I actually got here in Iyar.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I'm doing everything I got to do, closing out business matters and affairs. I get on the plane, I fly over. Now I come here. I'm home. I've made it back. It's a month later. My brothers here from Saudi have a festival, and we have. So they had the feast upstairs, roasted lamb, and I was up there, and it was a beautiful time. We all get dressed up in traditional garments, and we all eating and discussing what we need, and it was a beautiful time. And so I had a time of observing this in its ordinance at its time.
I have to say this. What was so interesting of the whole matter, it wasn't even planned. Yeah, did it himself. It's already written in the book of the law to be done. You know, it wasn't like you got with the Saudi brothers and y'all decided, we're gonna do this.
It happened automatically for me.
It just happened automatically for
It
you.
happened automatically for me. The dates lined up, everything lined up for me.
Yes.
Right? Because I wanted to be here for the Pesach and couldn't make it. I was far away. I had to fly from the States over here. When I got here at the time I got here, according to what I had, and everything worked out, including he created the festival so that I wouldn't be in defilement. Right? Now I'm making sure everybody after me doesn't have to go through this. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we're gathering the people, making the preparations. We know what time you're coming in, and we can prepare the festivals accordingly. Okay? Okay,
Verse 13.
But the man who being clean and undefiled by the way of the world, and not at a distance from the threshold of his home, neglecteth to perform the oblation of the Paschal of Nisan, that man shall be cut off from among his people, because he hath not offered Yah's oblation in its season, that man shall bear his sin.
In its season.
So I keep saying that Nisan is in the fall. I want you to understand, Tishri is in the spring, Nisan is in the fall. I'm telling you now, we're gonna go over this
Later on.
It'll take a few months. Okay, we're gonna finish Numbers. Once we end Numbers, it'll be about 34 days until we finish Deuteronomy. Then we're going to go back to Genesis and we're going to judge everything by the law, with the law. Right? We're not going to make a judgment based upon today's modern opinions. We're going to judge the world from Genesis on by the law, with the law.
Yes. And you will see that the law has been from
the very beginning. All right? So now we're going to do that. And if the stranger who is sojourning with you perform the Pesach before Yah, he shall do it after the proper manner of the Paschal decree, according to its form, so shall he do it. You shall have one statute, both for the sojourner and for the native, the indigenous of the land. So now you're going to have one rule, meaning that the sojourner has to perform it according to the same traditional rites as the rest of us. Okay? He can't bake it or boil it either. He has to perform it the same way. Okay? And on the day on which the tabernacle was reared, the cloud of glory covered the tabernacle. It overspread the tabernacle of testimony by day, and at evening. It was over the tabernacle like a vision of fire until the morning. So was it continually a cloud of glory covering it by day, and a vision of fire by night. And what time the cloud of glory was uplifted from the tabernacle, then the children of Israel went forward. And at the place where the cloud rested, there did the children of Israel rest. So you have to understand this covers over the tabernacle. It's always there. Day, night, it's always there. Okay? When it moved, they moved. When it rested, it was not moving, it sat there, they sat there. By the mouth of the word of Yah, the children of Israel went forward, and by the word of Yah, they rested. So there was also a word, an instruction. All the days that the cloud of glory abode upon the tabernacle, so long did they abide. And if the cloud tarried over the tabernacle many days, the children of Israel observed the watch of the word of Yah and did not proceed. Okay? So they observing the watch. That means they got up every morning and just looked. And they're still here, we here. If they see it moving, all right. Think the cloud's moving. We may have to move today. We're gonna have to pack it up. Start getting ready, because we know they're gonna send word down. We just waiting. If for the time of a number of days, suppose the 7 days of the week, the cloud of glory was upon the tabernacle, by the word of the mouth of Yah, they rested. And by the word of the mouth of Yah, they went forward. Or if the cloud of glory rested only from evening until morning and was uplifted in the morning, then they went onward, whether by day or by night. When the cloud was lifted up, they went forward. So sometimes they traveled at night.
Nighttime.
Now, here's what most people don't know about living here. Like in the summertime, you can't really move during the day.
No, you can't.
You really have to move like sunrise early, or in the evening. Like you just, it's too hot. You will die.
Yeah.
So the Most High knowing this, and they have to travel throughout the season, he was preparing them.
Right.
This is my instruction. You're going to move when I say move, and I'm going to move according to what is best for you.
Right. Because like over here, between round about mid in April, all the way to October, November, there's no rain. There's no rain, and it gets very hot here. Yeah. So this,
So you have, it's a different environment. Okay? Now it's going to tell you in verse 22 whether it was 2 days or a month or a year complete. While the cloud of glory made stay over the tabernacle, abiding on it, the children of Israel abode and journeyed not. And at the time of its uplifting, they went forward. By the mouth of the word of Yah, they encamped, and by it they journeyed. They kept the observance of the word. See the instruction. It's not, It's not osmosis. There's an instruction. Even though there is a sign and a symbol given, there is an instruction. So they traveled by the word, okay? By the mouth of the word of Yah through Moses. So as the Most High is instructing Moses through the instruction, they are following the instruction and they are becoming more and more successful. They are becoming stronger and stronger as a people. They're becoming more confident, more organized, more refined, and their unpredictable movements makes them lethal. Their enemies don't know where they are or where they're going because they can move at any time. So this makes them a force to be reckoned with in that day. However, today, we have to do something a little bit different. We have to get ourselves an establishment. And with the help of you, the people, and the congregations that are joining us, we're buying land, we're building our own buildings, our own farms, and having our own businesses, banks, supermarkets. We're building them here in Jordan. We're grateful for you guys that are reaching out to us and touching bases. We are coordinating with to formulate groups that can travel together for safety, and we're organizing this great move so that we can rebuild ourselves, our people, under the law of our God.
And you know what's so awesome after reading this here? You from day one have been giving us the word, the instructions of Yah every day faithfully. He's giving you the instruction. Because I'm going to tell you, all of what is being shared, what's being told to us, there is nobody out there doing it. Nobody. So for me personally, I strongly sense the cloud of the glory present right here at this location.
We can go outside and check. It's usually sitting up there. I don't tell nobody about it. I just leave it because you know what? It ain't for the wicked to see.
Right. Because the word of Yah is coming forth. The instructions are being given. It's just up to you
To make a decision.
to make a decision.
It's your choice.
Either you're going to obey
Or not.
or not. It doesn't stop the show.
It does. It don't. It's going to be. You know?
It's happening.
Slowly.
It's
One step at a time, one day at a time. We just, like I said, Most High didn't say I'm going to gather all.
No. Yeah, see, some of them can't handle the fact that he don't want all of them.
He don't want us all. And truth is, for some of them, when they hear this, they have to understand Most High don't want you.
That's right.
That's why you don't want to come. That's why you don't want to give. He don't want you. So I can accept it. It don't stop what's happening because the ones that the Most High does want come, and the ones that the Most High touch to give.
Yeah.
The Most High provides for those that don't have from the ones that do have. They understand the purpose is for His will and the service of His kingdom. it's not about me rich, you poor. It's actually about we, the people of the Most High, commit ourselves to his service, to be the nation he called us to be, not the religion. Ain't no religion here.
That's right.
We have a literal instruction. I do this every day. Ain't no Shabbat class. On Shabbat,
we rest.
I sleep. I do class every day. Every day, 6 days a week. I'm doing class. I'm not, that's the way it works. And so for those of you who are joining us,
yeah, we excited.
may the blessing of the Most High be with you.
Yes.
Get your funds together. You know, we want people to contribute and send the money in preparations. We are scheduling everybody to be here for the Pesach, which will be in the fall. That's when we're scheduling for everyone to be here. For those who can come out earlier and sooner to help us with preparations and building, that is fantastic too. So we need hands on deck, but you know, I understand finances has got to be right, but Yah provides for his people. So now that I see the people here, they putting themselves in, we taking them, putting them on the roll, we're registering who calls and contacts. So now that we see the people here, we know that the provision is here too.
That's right.
So thank you. One step at a time, one day at a time.
One step.